Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing my favorite makeup releases of 2024. So I have so much makeup to go through and I probably missed some because I do try so much makeup, and I will say makeup has gotten more and more impressive with time. So I think we are getting more good releases than bad. I picked out the products that stuck out to me the most, the ones that I enjoyed using the most. Most of them should have been released in 2024. Some of them I'm iffy about. Maybe they were right before the new year for 2024, but these are just the products that have blown me away. So with that said, if you would like to see all of the makeup that I fell in love with for 2024, just keep on watching. So I don't want this video to be way too long, so I'm just gonna get into it. I'm going to start kind of in the process that I do my makeup. So the first thing that I put on are my brows, and this was a product, I believe this was released 2024. It's one of my favorite brow gels that have been released. This is the Urban Decay Slick Day Brow. So this brow gel right here is one of the quickest ones to work for me because I do have super stubborn brows. They are so stubborn. So Rare Beauty is my all-time favorite. That one is amazing, but this one is like a close second, if not tied. And it has a little comb, which when I first got it, I was kind of being too rough and I was like, oh, this comb is kind of like hard. But if you kind of lay it flat and kind of start brushing upward, it lays down the brows so good and it holds them in place all day long. So this one is one that I love. It does feel a little bit more, I wouldn't say crunchy, but you can feel the hold a little bit, but I personally like that because if something is a soft hold, it's not gonna last for me. This lasts all day, so I definitely recommend that. Then moving forward to eyeshadows, there were so many eyeshadows that were eyeshadow palettes. I feel like eyeshadow's not as loved as it used to be. I love playing with eyeshadow. I have toned it down a little bit because I have to kind of stay with what's trending, but I love playing with eye makeup. So of course the Huda Beauty Icy Nude palette, I really like this one. I got it recently, but I really love her eyeshadow formula. It's very easy to blend, really easy to work with. She gives you so many different textures, types of shimmers and glitter and mattes, and I still have to get into so much more in this palette, but it's so pretty and it's more on the neutral side. It's not super warm. If anything, it's like neutral cool, but you do have classic colors here as well, which I really like when an eyeshadow palette does that, because if I want to take it with me and I don't want to do anything too crazy, I still have like the traditional colors to do a regular eye makeup. And then of course my Makeup by Mario palettes, love these as well. So I think this one was released 2024, but this is the Master Mattes, the neutrals. So he has the Master Mattes which are warm, and then this one is more of a neutral shade of colors, and I love this palette so much, along with the latest release, which is the Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette. And this one, the shimmers in here and the glitters and that pop of blue, very nice eyeshadow palette. So those are my top 3 eyeshadow palettes. My favorite mascara is the Give Beauty mascara, the Can't Stop Staring mascara. It was not released in 2024, but that is my all-time favorite mascara. And I recently tried the House Labs mascara and I was very impressed. I just didn't put it in here because I still need to wear it a little bit more to make sure I love it. These eyeshadow glitters, oh my god, you guys know I went crazy over these. When I hauled one, I had to get more of them. These are one of my favorite eyeshadow glitters, and these were released in 2024. These are the Too Faced Disco Crush Multi-Use Eye and Face Sparkles. So I did get 3 shades of these. I know a lot of you guys were telling me that it is pricey. I agree, it is pricey for one shadow, but it is hard to find good quality like glitters like this that you don't have to do too much. Like I don't use a base with these, I don't do nothing, I just grab it and put it on my eyes, and the sparkle that they give is so gorgeous, and the camera never does them justice. Maybe from far away you can see how sparkly they are. This one is Fairy Dust. It's like a silver sparkle. So I suggest getting these when they have like their sales, which they usually have one in spring as well, so you can get some discount on that. Here is Hypnotic, which is, it's like a mix of silver and gold. This was one of the ones that I really loved as well, right here. My favorite one was Magic Sprinkles, and this one is like a little coppery, a little gold, a little silver. So there's all three of them, and here's the Magic Sprinkles shade. So these were my favorite glitters that were released last year. I believe there's maybe like 2 or 3 more shades, but they weren't shades that I usually wear a lot, so I didn't pick those up. I am full of glitter everywhere now. After I do my eyes, after I do my mascara, my lashes, I start off with skin prep. And I have a few primers that were released that I really enjoyed for 2024. The first one I'm going to start off with, I hauled this and then I didn't really talk about it after because I reach for this when my skin is super dry, which I'm going to be using now in this snowstorm that we have going on. But this is the Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin Moisture Repair Balm Serum. So I have used this a few times, and you only need a tiny bit, so it doesn't look like I've used a lot of it, but you can see where I dug some out. Let's just say that you don't want it for makeup, but you want it maybe for like your elbows, your feet during winter time. This is so moisturizing. If you have super dry skin and you put a layer of this, at first you do feel like you're putting a lot, like you're like, whoa, this is gonna be too heavy. But something about this, like my skin just drinks it up, and you're left with beautifully prepped skin for makeup. And what impressed me the most was that I thought this was going to disrupt my makeup, make it separate or make it look bad, and it doesn't. Everything lays on top of it so nicely, and I definitely recommend this for those of you who have severe dry skin or just dry skin in general. Definitely not for oily skin, unless you have oily skin but maybe you suffer with like dry patches in certain areas. This would work nicely, but definitely for dry skin. I have dry skin, so this is perfect for me. Next up, I have the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. I really like this one too because usually blurring primers on me, I have to be very careful. If they are super duper mattifying, they're not gonna work for me either because I have dry skin. So this one is a way more silicone-y type of formula, and I do feel like this one blurs, but at the same time it feels super cooling on the skin as well, and it doesn't leave you like a cactus. Like it actually feels like it has a little bit of moisture to it, and it helps to blur out your pores as well. So for me, that's like a win-win when it comes to a blurring primer. This one paired with the foundation that was released with this primer, flawless skin. Flawless skin. Now for hydration, the One Size Secure the Glow Primer. This was such a win for me. I really like this. Super hydrating. I took this with me on vacation as well. It's just one that I know is just going to moisturize my skin. It's very thin in texture. My makeup doesn't pill with this on. It comes out really pretty all the time. This one from NYX. This is the Face Glue Gripping Primer. Super unique looking. I mean, it looks like glue. I thought this was going to be like really sticky and the consistency was going to be disgusting if you think about glue, but it looks like glue, but it's super thin. As you can see how fast that it's kind of like a drink of water for your skin. So I have it right here. And it does have a tiny bit of a gripping effect to it, but it's not like the Milk or the e.l.f. gripping primers. It's definitely more moisturizing and hydrating, and it just makes your skin look perfect and prepped for makeup. Definitely recommend that. Now moving on to foundations, I have a few. So first, of course, is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. I fell in love with this from the first time that I used this foundation. It left me with a flawless, poreless, very smooth and flawless looking foundation application. And I have used these two together, which they are meant to be used together, but I've also used the foundation with like a regular primer and it still works amazing. This foundation has great coverage. I would say that this would work for any skin type because if you have oily skin, you can set it down. It's not going to go anywhere. If you have super dry skin, you can be a little bit lighter with the powder and have like a setting spray and you're good to go. So great coverage, it feels great, lightweight on the skin. The next one is the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. That's like a paragraph. But anyways, Patrick Ta packaging drives me freaking nuts because of the fingerprints, but it is a very beautiful packaging, very, very beautiful and luxe and very heavy and just really nice. And this foundation is so good for those of you who have dry skin. I know maybe some people found it to be too much because it is glowy. This is one of the glowiest foundations I think I have, but also a very thin foundation, so it doesn't feel cakey, it doesn't feel heavy. And I did wear this to the movies, and when I went to the bathroom, I just couldn't stop looking at my skin. It just looked exactly how it looked when I left the house. It didn't move my makeup around, but it gave me this really beautiful glow. Your skin looks healthy, radiant, and it has pretty good coverage. It's not a heavy or full coverage. I would say it's like a medium coverage, but it makes your skin look very natural. It doesn't look like you're wearing a bunch of makeup. So this was a win for me as well. I also really loved the Dior Forever Skin Perfect foundation stick. I have mine in the shade 2.5N, and this one has been like my quick go-to, just grab and go. I do my makeup a lot when I am in the car because a lot of the times when my husband says that he's gonna take us somewhere, we're gonna go on a date with kids, like a family date, usually I will do the girls' hair, I'll get them dressed, I'll get myself dressed, and then by the time I'm ready to do my makeup, it's been a long time and I'm ready to go. So I usually pack a makeup bag, I'll do my makeup in the car. And I love products like this because it's just so easy to just swipe it on, blend it out, and it's very easy. The coverage is nice. This is not super dewy, but it's not super matte. I would say somewhere in the middle. Feels like skin. I wore it for New Year's Eve and my makeup stayed on all night. So really, really good foundation. For concealer, I feel like this one is not really talked about too much, and I was pretty impressed with the formula. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer. So it's really tiny. So mine is in the shade 5. What I like about this concealer is the way that it feels. It has very good coverage, and it almost, when you're applying it, it almost feels like it's going to be way too matte or way too like makeupy. But there's something about this formula where it kind of looks matte, but it also looks like really healthy, and I feel like it hugs your skin, so it kind of like moves with your skin. Maybe that's why it's called lift and flex, like flexible, because it has like this consistency to it that it's like flexible. Like I feel like it moves around with my eyes. Like if I smile and stuff, it's not gonna get like all crackly and crunchy. It's a really, really good concealer, and it has a good amount of coverage too. So that one impressed me a lot. So next up, let's talk about bronzers. I have a few bronzers here. If I had to pick my favorite, it would be the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. I have two of them because I first got light medium, and I can use light medium just fine. See, that's perfectly fine. But sometimes if I want a little bit more, because this blends out, it's so easy. Look at this. It's so easy to blend out. It's like you're blending water on your skin. This makes it so easy for people who are not used to makeup. If you're learning, it's a very forgiving product. So I did get the medium so that it can blend out to a little bit darker. So I'll show you this one. It's not too far off. So here's the medium. It has a little bit more reddish tone to it, and it definitely leaves a darker look than the light medium. So I like having both depending on which one I need, but it's super forgiving, super thin. It's like a cooling, refreshing serum on your face because it just feels so thin and liquidy, but then it doesn't disrupt your makeup and it leaves that tint behind. It's not like you're blending something and then it just disappears. So it is a light bronzer. It's not super duper pigmented, but it just helps your makeup to come out more real looking, not so makeupy. Definitely recommend those along with the Say Dew bronzer. And I have 3 shades of this because I started off with these two. I got Slim and I got Salt. So Slim is pretty dark, so here is Slim. Then I got Salt, which is cooler. This is great for like contouring. Definitely cooler than Slim, but I just felt like I needed something a little bit lighter that I could just swipe on my face and not have to worry that I didn't blend it good enough. So these work for me, but these are more for like full beat, a lot of makeup for the dates that I do videos. But if I'm going out, I prefer like a lighter makeup. I like it to look more effortless, like I'm not even wearing too much. So here is Sand, and Sand is the perfect color in between those. I can literally put this on, blend it out, and not have to feel like, does it look too much? Did I not blend it out? It's beautiful on my skin tone. So if you're close to my shade and you want something that's forgiving, that's easy to work with, I think sand is the perfect color. Now for affordable ones, definitely the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour. I did get 2 shades. I have medium and light medium. So light medium, again, it's like a cooler shade, so I'll swatch these as well. So light medium would be like Salt from the Say. So here's the light medium, very similar in the cool side. Great if you want to do contouring, shading. Contouring means it's just going to like chisel your cheeks more. It's going to create a shadow, so it's going to bring your cheeks in and kind of lift up your cheekbones. So if you're into that, that's great. If you just want something to bronze your skin that you don't have to specifically put in certain areas, the medium one is, if you're close to my shade range, is more of a bronzy shade. And do you see how pigmented these are? The first time I tried this, I put like 2 or 3 dots. You just need 1 dot. Start blending that 1 dot out, and then if you feel like you need a little more, you can add more. But they are pigmented, creamy, and amazing. So e.l.f. is up there with my luxury brands. And then last but not least, the Too Faced. This is the Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick in the shade Chocolate Souffle. This is one of the most buttery, just easy to glide on bronzers. You don't have to do a lot of work with these. It just is so easy to blend out. But this one's a little bit more pigmented than these. Like this one will leave more of a bronze effect on your skin, but all of those were amazing liquid bronzers. For powder bronzer, my number 1 was this Armani Beauty one, which I know it's more pricey, but this bronzer stole my heart. This is the Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder in the shade 90. Again, I went a little lighter in shade because I want to be able to build up my bronzer. I don't want to take a brush and put bronzer on and it just be too much. So this one, I don't have to be careful. I can just put it on and go, and it just gives me the perfect amount of warmth, and it's huge. So this will last me for years. Probably be able to pass it down to my grandkids or something. And then another great bronzer, but this one you do have to be careful with. Like I was saying, this, you dip your brush in here 2 or 3 times, it's going to be too much. You have to do the lightest tap, but they're beautiful. These are the NYX Buttermelt bronzers. These are so good. And again, I like to get multiple shades of things because sometimes you need a different shade, sometimes you have a tan, sometimes you're pale. So I did get 2 shades. So this one is Butter Biscuit and this one is All Buttered Up. So this one's a little darker. This one's great for like everyday use, and they are pigmented. And they also have like a little bit of like a sheen to them, not glitter, but they're just like there's like a sheen, so it just makes your face look really, so it's this one right here and this one down here. But that's another affordable bronzer that I love. Now for liquid blushes, this was hard for me because in my collection, the product that I have the most of is blushes. So the first ones that I really fell in love with are the Huda Beauty Blush Filter Liquid Blushes. There are so many shades to choose from. They smell so good. Anybody can use these because they're very forgiving. So this one's Watermelon Pop, super cute color. I can't wait until summer to bring this out. Here is the applicator, and you literally just do a few dots. This one's actually one of the darker shades. You just start blending it out, and it just, you see how those edges keep on blending out and they're not catching onto anything. They're just blending and giving you a seamless amount of blush. That's what I like about them the most. They're very easy to blend out and they smell so yummy. They smell like candy. This one's one of my favorite shades, which is Cotton Candy, really pretty pink. You also have some berry darker shades that look beautiful as well. So there's a lot to choose from. They're great, easy to blend. Can't go wrong with these. The e.l.f. blushes, I don't know if these were released in 2024, but I know they've released new shades in 2024. These are so good too. These I have used on my shorts, on my reels. The way that these blushes apply, beautiful. And they're pigmented too. Some of them have a sheen to them, some of them dry a little bit more on the matte side, but you can get very high color payoff from these. They're great. So you don't have to go to Sephora to find good makeup. You can go to Ulta and you can check out e.l.f. You'll be set. They have so much to choose from. Really, really good quality. Next up, for powder blushes, we have the NYX Buttermelt blushes. These are just like the bronzers, but blush shades. I think I have 3 shades. So this one is for the Butter, which is a really pretty pink shade, but like a darker, almost mauve shade. And here we have Butter Together. I love this one too. This one's a more bubblegum pink. These are very pigmented as well. Very pigmented. I also fell so in love with these, and I need to reach for them again. I haven't worn them in a minute, but these are the Rare Beauty powder blushes, and this is in the color Cheer. These are like blush mixed with highlight. Here are the shades for these. They go on the skin so beautifully. My favorite one was actually Cheer. It gives a really pretty glow to the cheek, so I'm gonna put a little bit on top of my blush. Do you see how that kind of brought my cheek to life? Adding this just gives you a beautiful sheen. I know some people don't like them because they could emphasize texture. I have texture and I didn't really have a hard time with these. They're super glowy and super pretty. Definitely recommend the Rare Beauty ones and the Kosas blushes. I have some little ones too that came in a set, but this is the shade Butterflies. This topped off on any look just gives you the perfect pop. It looks very like a very intimidating pink, I know, but just if you're light-handed with it, it's not as crazy as it looks swatched. And then I also have Dreamland, which is more of like a warm, more natural looking blush. But what I like about these is, again, the glow that they give the cheeks. And the swatches aren't even strong. So the colors could look a little intimidating, but they're not going to ruin your look or anything. The new shade of the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder blushes that came out. He's coming out with new shades again around the same time of the year. But he came out with Just Enough. And I was very scared to put this one on because it looks so pink and bright on me, but it actually looked pretty. She's the Moment is more of a peachy one, not too much, is perfect for every day. And these come with a cream and a powder. All 3 of these shades worked great for me and I really enjoyed them, so I have to take them out again to wear them some more. I'm just always trying new makeup and new products, so a lot of the times the good products just don't get as much love as they deserve. For powders, Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. So good. I love this powder. I am wearing it today, but I'm wearing the shade 1, which is the more pink shade. This one's shade 3. But what I like about it is it sets your makeup, but it's such a thin veil over your skin. I wore it one night and I just kept looking at my skin, and it's literally like, it does not look like you're wearing powder, but your skin looks so blurred and smooth. Beautiful powder. And then for a setting powder, I liked the Kosas Cloud Set in the new shade that they came out with, which is Candy. This is beautiful and it will really brighten the under eyes, but also smooths and blurs the heck out of your skin. So those 2 are my favorite powders. My favorite highlight has been like very difficult for me to use because they do accentuate, that does accentuate texture for me. Like if I'm wearing like a very glittery highlight, I don't really like the way it makes my skin look. But this Ilia highlight, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this. This is the Light Shift Cream Highlighter. It feels like a cream, but it also feels like a powder. But the highlight that this gives your skin, it's like if you drank all your water for the week. You're super healthy, you're getting all your sleep, your skin is glowing from within. And there's no lines of where the highlight starts, where it ends. It just blends into your skin and looks beautiful. I'm gonna put a little bit here too so you can see on the nose. You see that? Just tap it in and you have like the most natural looking highlight. It's so hard for me to find that, but this, like, I think I could get rid of almost all of my highlights and just keep this and I'll be a happy girl. Because I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. And they also came out, I think, with some bronzers of this formula that I definitely need to try out. So that's it for the face. For the lips, 2 lip liners that stole the show. Se robaron el show. They did amazing. The first ones are the Fenty Beauty Traced Out Lip Liners. These are so good. I love them. I started off, I think, with one shade, and now I have, this is two of them. I have maybe like 4 or 5. They're good. They stay on. The shades are beautiful. This one is Peanut Butter. I need to sharpen it. I used that one a lot when I was on vacation. And also here we have Satin Panty, so you can see the shades. So here is Peanut Butter and here's Satin Panty. These stay on. They're amazing. I love them. The Maybelline though, the Maybelline Lifter Liners, there's nothing better than this. There is nothing better than this. Again, started off with one shade, ended up with almost all of them. Big Lift. This is such a beautiful shade. It's kind of like a mauve-y shade. The first time that I ever wore this lip liner, my husband was buying his pickup truck, and you know, buying a car is like an all-day thing. Like, we were looking at different ones, we were driving around. I think the dealership that we went to was like 2 hours away from our house, and I used this liner in the morning and it was already like 7 o'clock in the evening. My lip gloss was faded, everything was faded, but my lip liner was there. These stay on. You can eat, obviously you're not gonna rub the heck out of your lips like crazy, but just from wearing it normal, they stay on. The shades are beautiful. So I showed you Big Lift. There is also Lime Leader, which is like a softer pink shade if you want something a little lighter. And then here we have On It, which is an amazing, beautiful shade too right here. It's like a brownish shade. These are awesome. For lipsticks, honestly, this is all I was reaching for a lot of the time. I don't remember when these were released, but these were the ones that impressed me the most, and it's the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Sticks. So here I have 4 shades. Again, started off with one and had to get almost all of them. This one is Blazed Donut. It's a nude color. Tulip Kiss is nude, but this one's like a pinky nude. This is like more of a peachy nude, but doesn't look bad. Sometimes when something is too peachy on me, it will look too orange, but this one doesn't look like that crazy, but I do prefer Blazed Donut. And then here are some darker ones. I have Sorta Selfish, which is like, this one I got more for like fall. It was beautiful with like a darker lip liner. And this one, which is Spice Cold for fall time. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Look at that shade. They are glossy, but what I like about them is they're glossy. They don't feel too matte. They don't make you feel like your lips are dry, but they stay on for a good amount of time. A lot of glosses, after a few minutes, you don't have nothing left. These stay on and they feel so good on the lips. For gloss, I really loved the Huda Beauty faux filler glosses that were released. The clear one, it's super duper juicy, super juicy. You do not need a lot of the, do you see that? You don't need a lot of these glosses. If you put too much, they can feel a little heavy and like goopy on the lips. So I literally just put it where you want to have that glossiness, but not all over the lips. But they look so good. They have a bunch of shades to choose from. One of my favorite lip gloss formulas that was released. These are released more towards the end of the year, but oh my god, I love these. So these are the like lip oils, but they're like the shimmer lip oils. I have Crystal Baller and Divine Wine. And these, the sparkle in them are so pretty. I have been really liking these. With just, you put on a lip liner, pop one of these on, and your lips are going to look so pretty. And they're affordable, so love it. So that brings me to the end of my 2024 favorite makeup releases. I cannot wait to hear yours. Comment down below which makeup releases you loved last year. Maybe there are some that I forgot about for sure. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video.